Hi everyone. Today I'm going to explain two important attributes in a Linux. These attributes helps us to protect the any important critical files. Like we have slash etc configuration files, and we have some important applications data and users data. So to prevent the users, to prevent anyone from deleting the or modifying the files, we use the attributes. Okay, so these when we set these attributes to files directory, the files cannot be modified, deleted or renamed. So the with these attributes, the files are protected from any manually modifying or deletion. So we can protect the files. And in addition to this immutable attribute, we also have a append-only attribute. This append-only attribute is useful. So we set this append-only attribute to the logs files. Okay, so yeah, I'm saying this example. So when we set this append-only attribute to the log files cannot be modified. It only the content only can only be added. Okay, so you just have a possibility to add the data to the file when we set the attribute append only. When we set the attribute immutable, the content inside the file cannot be modified or deleted. Okay, let's see the example. Let's see these attributes with examples so that you can understand very well. Okay, so let's see what are the files that we have. So we okay, now let's create one directory, and let's create directories and files. Test dir. Now touch test test file. Okay, now I have created one directory, one file. Okay, now now we have a directory and file. Now let's set the attribute chattr. Okay, now we have set the attribute. Let's see what who is the owner and group of the file. See, we have a see the owner and group of the this file directory is root. Okay, now I am the owner of the, I am in the sense one who has created the file. The root has created the file and directories inside the directory. Now let's see whether he is able to clear the file or not, delete the file or not. Okay, rmrf. See, operation not permitted, because why we can't remove this file is because we have set the immutable attribute. Okay, now if we clear the immutable tag, okay, on a directory, let's see whether we will be able to remove this file or not. Now now we can see, we don't see the line that is operation not permitted. We are able to remove the file. Now if we see the content, the file inside the directory, see there is no such a file like test file. So this is how we can use the attribute like immutable attribute. So if you set the immutable attribute to the file and directory, the file cannot be removed, file directory cannot be removed. Okay, so that's the one thing that you need to remember: immutable attribute that cannot be modified, deleted, removed or linked. Okay, now let's see the append only attribute. Append only attribute is set to the files. Okay, let's create a directory mkdir test dir1 and touch test dir1 slash test file2. Okay, now I have created a directory. Inside the directory I have created one file. Now let's create the let's set the attribute. Okay, how to set the attribute to the file for only append only is chattr plus a testdir1 slash test file 2. Now I have before that let's add the content to the file. Okay, so I'm going to add the content to the file. This is the test file 2 data added. Okay, I'm adding this just one line content to the test file. Okay, if you see here, let's see. Yeah, now the content is added. Now I'm going to set the attribute that is append only attribute. Say atr plus a test one. Okay, now I have set the attribute. Now I have set the attribute append only attribute. Now we will see whether we will be able to delete or modify the content inside the test file or not. Okay, for that we'll whether just get into the file. Okay, now this is the content that we have inside the test file to data. Okay, let's see whether we will be able to modify. Okay, modify instance just remove or any changes or any activities. Okay, okay, W. I'm saving and quitting. See, see, cannot open file for writing. This is expected since we have set the attribute only append only. Okay, so since append only this activity is only allow us to add the content to the file, so we cannot modify or delete the content inside the file. Okay, so so you can only add the content to the file, you cannot modify. Okay, uh, so if you just look at the file, see, this is the file exactly same as it is. We were not allowed to perform the changes inside the file. So since we have set the attribute append only, okay. So even you can add the content. You just get into the file. Okay, just get into the file and end insert. This this is post. This is the changes done. So here you cannot write the file inside the content. You just you cannot modify the file, so you just only add the content to the file. That is the main objective of append only attribute. Okay, so to we can remove the append only attribute just like as how we have removed the immutable attribute. Okay, so how can we remove the immutable attribute is -a. Okay, now we have removed the append only attribute. So now we can do a modifications into the file. We can remove the content inside the file. So this is how we can perform the uh, we can add the attributes to the files and directories. Okay, so main objective of this attribute append on and the immutable attributes are is to protect the files from any changes or modifications or any link or renaming. Only even if the root has created the files and directories, it cannot be modified, deleted until unless the immutable flag is cleared. That is a thing that you need to remember. Okay, so thanks for watching and have a nice day. I hope this content is helpful and it will be helpful in administration. So you can do under any if you want to perform, if you don't want the user to perform any changes, it will be extremely helpful, these attributes. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.